no matter what happens, if the Jets have the worst record in the NFL, if Trevor Lawrence comes out into the draft this year, he declares that he is going to go into the NFL draft, there is no question. I don't care who it is, what coach it is, if he wants Sam Darnold or not. Sam Darnold in 2 years is a free agent. He is going to want big mucho dinero. There are teams out there like Chicago and Pittsburgh that are willing to give up first-round draft picks for Sam Darnold. And I could see Pittsburgh doing it. Juju Smith-Schuster has come out and said he wants to play with Sam Darnold again. Chicago has come out and said there was articles coming out from different analysts out there in the country, not just one, but two of them, that said that Chicago would be very intrigued and very interested now that Mitchell Trubisky is now off the table. He's no longer going to be the starting quarterback in Chicago moving forward. It's Nick Foles. So now you're seeing the big picture now. I absolutely believe that if the Jets are the worst team in the NFL and they get the number one pick and Trevor Lawrence is coming out of the draft, there is no way in hell the Jets are going to pass up on arguably a quarterback that some people are saying was a better and is a better prospect than Andrew Luck was coming out from Stanford. So as much as I love Sam Darnold, I really do. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in this league. You saw what he did on Thursday when he ran that ball in. That was fantastic. You saw the offensive line opening up for him, and he made some jutes. And he got in there, and you saw what Sam Darnold could do with his legs. He's got no one to throw to. You can't blame Sam Darnold that his wide receivers can't create separation. He's got nobody to throw to. Jamison Crowder looked decent at certain, and he's a great slot guy. If you have two fantastic offensive weapons on the outside, they don't have one. And Denzel Mims, yes, he might be back next week. It's going to take him weeks to figure things out in that offense. So we might not see the real Denzel Mims until next year if he's 100% healthy, because the Jets have no luck.
Well, Arrow, sorry, really quickly, you said about Trevor Lawrence. He said he's coming out. He already said he's going to come out this year. So did Peyton Manning.
I
know he said that, but
so did Peyton Manning.
Different money now than it was years ago. That's
fine.
That's different money.
That's fine. Peyton Manning came out in 1998 and said he was coming out of the draft. He found out the Jets were getting the number one pick. He passed up on it. He didn't want to play in New York. And I don't care what anybody says.
Different. I heard it was different. I heard that it was Parcells said he wasn't giving Peyton a short answer, that he was going to pick him, and that's why he went back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a back and forth banter. I think Peyton Manning he didn't want to play in New York. You saw Eli wanted to play in New York. He fit.
He hates the Jets. He sabotaged the Jets into taking Gase too, I think. I really do.
But to finish up, I looking at the big picture where the Jets are at right now, and I know a lot of Jet fans are probably upset with the organization not firing Adam Gase. I wasn't surprised they didn't fire Adam Gase, even though there were stories coming out on Colin Cowherd, the Herd Show. There was other shows that came out that saying that if the Jets lose against a fourth or third string quarterback, that the Broncos were going to put out there that they were going to fire Adam Gase. I have already said it. I believe the Jets will fire Adam Gase in week 6 or week 7 when they know the season is completely over, even though we already know it's over. Joe Douglas knows, and Joe Douglas sees it the way he wants to see it. He's trying to give Adam Gase enough time to prove to the fans and the organization that he could live to see another year. He's not going to live to see another year. This team is completely outraged. There are a lot of players that are probably going to try to sit out as long as they can because they don't want to play for him. You heard about Jamal Adams, but hey, listen, Jamal Adams is not doing his thing over there in Seattle either. So I don't want to hear about Jamal Adams. We lost Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is going to get $90 million from Seattle, be overpaid. 3 years down the road, he's going to wish he never left the Jets. I've said this over and over again. And as much as you're going to say, you're going to laugh at me and say, why would he care if he left the Jets or he didn't leave the Jets? The Jets stink. This organization will figure it out. I really do believe it. It's poorly run up top, no question, with ownership, with Chris and obviously Woody, no question. But I think they have the right GM in hand that understands how to build a team. He came from Baltimore. He came from the Eagles. He understands that he has to build the front men, the beast up front for the quarterback. And Sam Darnold, it wasn't his pick. That was McCagnon. So he might say to himself, you know what? I don't want McCagnon's scraps, even though I don't believe Sam Darnold is a scrap. I think Sam Darnold's going to be a star. He's he might not be doing it with the Jets, but wherever he goes, he's going to be a star in this league. And a lot of Jet fans are going to be upset, but they won't be as upset if Trevor Lawrence is the real deal, which, I mean, every single analyst, everything that I've read about him, the kid has no weaknesses. He has none. He's got a great arm. He can move inside and out of the pocket. He's got the size. He's got big hands. He's got an unbelievable vertical leap. He's a leader. I mean, the guy's got everything. He was the number one quarterback in the nation when he came out to go to Clemson. He's the number one quarterback in the nation now. The guy has been number one everywhere he's gone and everywhere he's won. So this is a guy that I believe could handle New York. I believe Sam Darnold can handle New York too. The Jets didn't put enough weapons. There was nobody available in free agency this year that you can obviously say Joe Douglas said, oh, I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to bring him in with Jamison Crowder and Denzel Mims. There was nobody. A.J. Green got franchised. I was talking about A.J. Green. He got franchised by the Bengals, and A.J. Green's not having a good season over there in Cincinnati. There's nobody. But this coming year, you got T.Y. Hilton. He's available. You have Allen Robinson. He's available. You've got weapons that you can make a move for. Yes, overpay, but bring in guys. If you bring in T.Y. Hilton, Denzel Mims, and you draft the kid from LSU and move up, if you get Trevor Lawrence, and then you have that pick from Seattle, and you trade Sam Darnold and get another first-round draft pick for Sam and a third or a fourth for Sam, you can obviously move up and get the wide receiver that you want. So then you solidify your offensive style of game. You still have Herndon, who I think is a bust. By the way, I don't know what the hell's going on with that kid. Maybe when he crashed the car and he hurt his ribs, or maybe he stopped drinking and maybe drinking did help him. I don't know, because the guy is out of his damn mind. He can't catch a ball. He's got pot hands. He plays like Robbie Anderson. And Robbie Anderson, let's talk about Robbie Anderson. Ever since he left the Jets, I mean, every single game he's had 100 yards or more. Mm-hmm. I mean, what is going on? And that has a lot to do with Adam Gase, too. Say whatever you want. He was under Adam Gase last year, and he wasn't utilized.
Josh.
He wasn't. I'm sorry? I'm sorry?
What happened?
No, I thought somebody was cutting in. They didn't utilize Robbie Anderson right, and you can see it in the offense that the Carolina Panthers are using right now. Now, I don't think Robbie Anderson is any good. He's a borderline 1,000-yard guy. He's never had 1,000 yards in the NFL. But if Robbie Anderson was playing on this team right now, we were talking about Merriman. Merriman stinks. Okay, this whole team as a whole, and your best wide receiver. I said it last week. Berrios is your best wide receiver. He's 5'6". So you have your best wide receiver, 5'6", catching the ball, getting you 60 yards and a touchdown a game. Sam Darnold is running for dear life. Their cornerback position with Desir, and it's terrible. It's their secondary, and Marcus May, as good as Marcus May has looked in the first 2 weeks, he disappears. He disappeared this week. Where the hell was Marcus May? So
I was gonna say really quick, you know, we talk about with the coaching and everything like that. You know what's amazing is that Christopher Johnson, they were so close to getting Matt Rule, who I wanted them to hire, and they said you're not allowed to pick your own coordinators.
Right. That was Mike McCagnon's classic mistake. Somebody should have hit him in the back of the head with a chair about that.
Adam Gase was allowed to come in and bring Dowell Logans in. Who thought of that asinine decision?
Yeah.
I mean, what was that? You don't trust Matt Rule, but you trust Adam Gase? It
was a lot to do with Peyton Manning. You were right. It has a lot to do with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning opened up his mouth, screwed the Jets again, gave him and listen, everybody says, well, you liked Adam Gase. I liked Adam Gase for the prospects of what we were talking. Something told me Mike Rule wasn't going to be a fit for the Jets. He just wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think he probably would have fit in great over here.
I don't think so. First of all, he's a Giant. All right. He's not a Jet. He's a Giant. He comes from the Giants organization. He comes from the Tom Coughlin tree. I don't want a Tom Coughlin guy. I don't want a Giant guy that's going to come in and yap his mouth and say what he says. And he's not a quiet guy. Matt Rule is not a quiet guy. So I want a guy like Eric Bieniemy. He is a guy that he's a quiet man. And he plays the game. Remember, he's playing under Andy Reid. Go look at all the coordinators that have come out of the Andy Reid tree. A lot of them have been very successful. And Eric Bieniemy In the last 4 years, go look at where Kansas City's offense is ranked in the last 4 years. They've been in the top 5 every single year. Yes, it's Andy Reid's offense. Bieniemy is calling the plays. If he's calling the plays.
Go see Bieniemy the other night when the Chiefs couldn't score Monday night against the Ravens, right? He got screaming at them. He starts yelling and screaming at them. What do they do on the next drive? They get a touchdown.
I gotta get. Hang on a second. I gotta get this comment on the air. All right, Scott Gillespie. Shout out to him. Errol, this one's for you. You liked Gase when you kicked in the head as a young child. Didn't you see how he ruined Miami?
Well, here's the reason why I liked Gase, and I didn't like Mike McCarthy, and a lot of people said, why didn't you like Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers and he had Brett Favre, okay? You're talking about 2 of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, top 10. Both of them are going to be linked together hand in hand, okay? That's who he coached. You going to the Jets, you have Sam Darnold, the young quarterback. You have no weapons. There was nobody available. He would have been in the same predicament as Adam Gase. Now, Adam Gase, I didn't want Adam Gase over Mike McCarthy. I'm not saying that. But I knew Mike McCarthy wasn't coming to the Jets because I knew Christopher Johnson was not going to let him pick the players. I mean, not the players, the coaches that he wanted. So Mike McCarthy took a step back. So then we were talking about Matt Rule. We were talking about coaches that we've never even heard of. Kingsbury that went to Arizona, who's done well with Arizona. He would not have fit in New York. No way that offense would have fit in New York. These are all guys I didn't want. Now, I did talk to Eric Coleman on and off the air quite a few times. He knows Eric Bieniemy. He loves Eric Bieniemy. He thinks he's going to be a fantastic coach in the NFL. He's going to add another African-American to the coaching in the NFL, which a lot of people want to see. Eric Bieniemy, it would be the sweet spot for the New York Jets right now. He would be the perfect fit for the New York Jets because Andy Reid's offense works in this league. Everywhere it's gone, even in Chicago, with the craziness that's going on with Mitchell Trubisky. Now you have Nick Foles, and you see what Nick Foles could do in the open fly, in the field. Trubisky wasn't the high-flying, throwing quarterback, the accurate quarterback. He's a guy that likes to use his legs, throw on the run. That's what he was. Bieniemy is, he's going to want his own quarterback. And I don't know, looking at Sam Darnold and his skill set right now with the weapons that they don't have, and knowing that he's going to be a free agent 2 years, if Bieniemy signs or decides to take the Jets job, what's going to happen, and you guys know this as much as I do, he's going to get a 5-year deal to link him up with Joe Douglas. And what's going to happen here is that he's going to want at least 2 years to redefine this offense, which means Sam Darnold will not be there in 2 years because he's going to want $45 million.
Hasn't earned it.
No, and he hasn't earned it. So what's going to happen is he's going to say, I want the number 1 pick. That's what I want. I want the number 1 pick. I want the best player available, and that is Trevor Lawrence, who is a bigger prospect and a better prospect than Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, all those quarterbacks that have come out of the draft. Now, the question is he going to be able to develop this kid, something that Jets coaches have not done in over 30 years, and that is develop a franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
Nobody has done it. So,
it's interesting. I was thinking about this the other day about the Jets and developing franchise quarterbacks. And look, while they've dropped the ball on certain guys, I mean, I look back at the certain quarterbacks they drafted. Okay, think about it the last couple of years. I mean, Ken O'Brien was a serviceable quarterback. Chad Pennington did well for them. Mark Sanchez got them to 2 AFC Championship games. I'm not saying they were all elite talent superstars, nor am I backing up the Jets in any way, shape, or form here. But we need to call it like it is. Those guys performed pretty well in certain situations. They weren't complete bust. If you want to talk about bust, let's talk about a second-round draft pick in Geno Smith, okay, who was a second rounder for a reason. You want to talk about Bryce Petty or Christian Hackenberg or those guys.
Browning Nagel.
Oh, my God, please stop it. Greg McElroy, everybody. Let's go crazy for Greg McElroy.